Hey guys peeps, and welcome back to Snail TV. Well, as you can see, I've got all the Fueltech there ready to go in the Civic. Pretty much the car, like as I said, the car is ready to get taken apart, painted up and stuff like that. Look, haven't got to it as such yet, but really just trying to find some time just so that I can actually smash it out, get it all painted and get it all back together. But in the meantime, have ordered the ECU, as you can see from behind me. Yeah, like I'll just show you what I'm doing, what sort of outputs, inputs and stuff like that that we're gonna have to run, and we go from there. So look, these these engines, these 2Js, you can batch fire them and you can literally run one of these on the bottom of the range Fueltech. I've done it before, I do it all the time just for budget wise, for people, just to help them out with money wise. But look, you can still run a boosted car through it. It's not dangerous, it's not bad. You do run out of sensors right at the end, but you know, for the daily driver and whatnot, it's more the merrier. When you start getting into the, you know, when you want to do cool stuff, then obviously the 550 is recommended, and also obviously a drive-by-wire. As soon as you've got a drive-by-wire, you do have to go to the 550 as well, and also an auto ECU. An auto ECU, you need to go to a drive-by, an FT550 as well, or if not a 600. But that's where we're at. So I did optimize for a 550. All right, so the 550's got more the merry. I've got the 600 on the Porsche only because that thing, I knew how many inputs and outputs I needed to do. Obviously, it's, you know, electric spoiler, you know, had the electric power steering. These are all inputs and outputs that I need to control. That is a 5-speed gearbox, so there is 5 outputs that I need to do for that, for the speed. And yeah, just a lot of other stuff as well. So the 600 was definitely the word of choice on that thing. Look, this thing, because it doesn't even have drive-by-wire. It's only got a normal throttle body on there. A big one, mind you add though, but a normal one. But no VVTi. There's nothing special here that we need to run. But we are actually got an auto ECU in there at the moment. Only at the moment. Later on we'll actually change it up. And I'll put something else in there, but for now I just want to get this thing on the you know, driving, and you know, hopefully get it down the track with this gearbox, and we'll just go from there. So the 550 is definitely, you know, something a lot easier to make that run, and I won't have any of the outputs, well, you know, at least the outputs left. So that's where we're at. We also opted for this is the wideband Nano, but this is the Nano Pro. You might have seen this same thing in the Porsche. This is what I start the Porsche up from, inside the center console. These are so awesome. Look, these are things, something like I wish that I had years ago, that someone had brought out something like that. But super awesome, and what you can display off it, or touch buttons and that sort of stuff. I'm not a guy that likes switch panels, and also I don't also like buttons and shit like that. So I just think it's messy. It's 2025, guys, and we should be doing everything from either touch or, you know, minimal switches, because, you know, both of these things are touchscreen. So, you know, you can put buttons on all of it, and you can turn the car on, you can do everything, start the car up, you know, you can obviously, not only does the ECU control the fans and the fuel pump and stuff like that, but you can also actually put in a button there to turn it on as well, for an auxiliary thing there as well. But so look, just try to just make these things work as hard as they can, because that's what they're there for. So for the wideband, because this is actual wideband, so this will control the O2 sensor that we've got out here. And go back to when I had my Supra, I actually put this, then when these actually first come out, I actually put one of these in the actual engine bay. The whole point of that is, look, you can start the car up from it, which is awesome as well, because you can actually check things in your car when you're starting it up. There's been so many times that you've always wanted to turn over your car to, you know, check spark or something like that. So awesome for that. But also when you're under here, you can actually see, you know, you can have oil pressure displayed on there. Check oil pressure on the first start up, you know, while you're looking around, do other stuff as well. So I'm probably going to be mounting that under here again, somewhere nice. I don't know exactly where yet. So I really want to just quickly get these mounts done for them. Yeah, and then obviously get the wiring stuff like that done as well. But I got a Deutsch Raceworks Deutsch connector, a 47 pin to go inside. So a bulkhead. So there will be no, the loom will be all nice and neat. So that'll be awesome. Got all the wiring harness, all the unterminated wiring harness. So these are just open wires. I put them to where I need to go. All the sensors there, I've got most of the sensors there. I've got all the outputs there ready to go. Fuel, oil, temperature, and that sort of stuff is the minimal stuff I need to run. TPS, just to see the throttle body. Very minimal that I want to run on this thing. It will have a laser ride height sensor as well on this, same as the go-kart, just in case if it does start lifting up. So that'll be handy as well. And look, that's sort of about it of what this sort of car wants to do. I don't want to go over the top that I don't need to. It's not going to be, as I said, go back, when I first built this car about 5 years back, this setup, I was going for, ride height sensors, all that stuff as well. I don't really want to do that at the moment. I think I should be able to get enough my time that I would really be happy with this car. Of just the minimal of what I can run. It is still going to be awesome. I'm still going to have some outputs left and some inputs left off the ECU, but that's how you sort of like to do. You always like to have a couple there spare, just in case you want to have a something else that you can bring in. But yeah, so that's where we're at. So I thought I'll just show you guys of what exactly I run. As you know, guys, I am sponsored by Fueltech. This is the only stuff that I do run on pretty much all my projects, and also customers' cars as well. Customers' cars will come in, and that's the only ECU that I can sort of offer, only because I know how it works and what it does, and it just works for me. That's all. So yeah, look, they do have obviously more now to choose from on ECU wise, but these things are just, they are the units. They're awesome. So super, nice and compact. They are the screen and dash all in one. And also, so simple to mount, so simple to wire, and they just get the job done. So, as I said, the 2JZ, theoretically, a straight 6-cylinder, or even theoretically a V8 engine can actually run on the bottom of the range Fueltech. Obviously, you have to do it in wasted spark, batch it, it would still going to make power, still going to do all the cool stuff. Look, getting up into, you want a little bit more with it, the 550, or theoretically, if not, you've got the coin there, the 600 is definitely the way to go. But the 550 is more the merrier for me that I want on this thing. And yeah, should be wicked. So yeah, super happy to get these installed. I'm not actually sure exactly where I'm going to put this yet. As I said, somewhere around. I was thinking mounting it somewhere off of the throttle body or something like that, making something up. But I'll see what I can do. I really want somewhere that I can get to and be look at the starter motor, or when it's turning over, you can actually hold the button and you actually do the timing at the same time. So that sort of stuff is just super handy of knowing that you can actually do that underneath the bonnet. So that's where we're at, guys. Look, this got a video of what I'm running, all the stuff that that it needs to run, because it does have the auto box. But that's where we're at. All right, guys. Look, I quickly just went and grabbed a 450. Well, a couple of. As you can see, they are theoretically the exactly same size, the exactly same everything. There's not much difference, the actual screen size itself, but the only difference is on the back of the ECUs, whereas the 450's only got one actual plug output, because you've got minimal inputs and outputs, whereas the 550's got two. So you've got a lot more. The 600 has actually got two as well, but they've actually got a bigger plug. I think these are these like a 24 or 32 pin plug or something. Yeah, so as I said, one of these 450s, and I have so many times, I do it all the times to customers. If not, I've done it to my JZs as well. Ran the JZ off of the 450. These can even actually do the VVTi as well. I've got a car out there that's got on a 450, that's got on a JZ, it's got VVTi running. Obviously, all the coils, all the injectors, with the boost controller as well. So a Mac controlling that as well. Speed. All the cool stuff, even got two-step, all that cool stuff. And that's just off of a 450. So that's just how much these things can actually run. So awesome, very minimal, not many wires there. And so you don't get your head over heels there. But obviously when you're going into the 550 and even if not the 600, it starts getting a bit scary because you've got so many actually wires there. As I said, they don't actually all need to get used, but the more the merrier. The more things that you can controlling and you're actually doing with it, it's there to use. So you might as well actually use it. So obviously, when you're picking an ECU, definitely pick the right one that you want to do. And obviously, if something later on the track you want to do a drive-by-wire or something, then you're probably best off getting something like a 550 or something other than a 450. So obviously, very budget-wise though, if you're straight up budget and you just want to run the car, mate, you're still going to make same power. It's not going to do anything different. There's no horsepower difference there. Yeah, well, coming into a 450, very budget-friendly, very cheap. They sort of start doubling in price. That's just how it works. But yeah, that's where it's at. And then obviously every ECU, you always want to get something like this. If not just the normal Nano, which will can communicate to these. The Nano Pro is awesome. And as I said, you can put that anywhere, start the car up from it. You can put the start button on the screen here as well, but it's always awesome having, that move somewhere. But just that sort of stuff is also, you can have information, anywhere else. Everyone loves to put everyone back in the day had like a gauges everywhere. And this is, as I said, 2025, this is the new stuff now. So, all right, peeps, so that's where it's at, guys. All right, so look, just thought I'll let you guys know this is exactly what I'm doing on this car as well. As I said, though, I am doing the 550 and it's pretty much ready to go. One last thing, as I said, I did really want to do before I just quickly took this out was mount the Nano somewhere. I do have the holes there for the wiring and stuff, so that's an easy stuff, but I actually don't have anything to hold the Nano there. So just really want to make sure next couple of days or something, I want to quickly make something up quickly. I'll get a picture out there so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing with it. But then, yeah, after that, it's pretty much engine out, and this all it needs to get done is get this thing wide after it all comes back in, put some fuel into it and start her up. So that's actually how close this car is to running, which is exciting. A little bit nervous at the same time because she's a fresh engine, but this is going to be awesome. So look, on that note, guys, thanks very much. As I said, if anything on Fueltech wise, obviously hit me up or whatever, or the actual Fueltech itself. But this is the stuff I run. So this is the only thing that, I'm always going to offer to everyone else as well. So that's where it's at. So on that note, guys, thanks very much. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. See you, peeps.